Hi, I am 37 weeks pregnant with my third baby. In this video, I wanted to kind of explain my philosophies and show the stuff that I'm actually using for my third baby because I feel like it's super easy to get overwhelmed with all things baby during pregnancy, packing your hospital bag, all the newborn essentials and equipment. So if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, maybe if this is your first baby, I just wanted to kind of give my background and show you my stuff, and as a voice that says maybe you don't need as much as you really think you do. So here we go. Just for a little bit of background, my pregnancy and birth philosophies are a little bit of a combination of common medical practice and my own personal philosophies based on my intuition and my own personal research. So because of that combination, I thought it might be helpful, just as maybe different example in the plethora of baby videos out there, since I'm not the crunchiest ever home birth mama, but I also do kind of edit the common medical system with my own philosophies. I have, nowhere near 37 things to pack in your hospital bag, or probably even 37 things for baby in general. So yeah, if you're feeling overwhelmed with what you actually need for baby, maybe try starting here. As with most major life events, pregnancy and birth are a huge opportunity for us to connect with our realest, truest selves and to honor our own intelligence, to get clear and vocal on the things that we feel are best for ourselves and our family. And as with most major life events, pregnancy and birth are also huge opportunities for us to get separated and disassociate from our truest selves. Whether you believe it's intentional or not, our culture generally ends up preying on experiences like these in order to push consumerism, comparison, fear, and distrust of our own selves and our own bodies. I think the stuff, the pregnancy stuff, the baby stuff, all the equipment plays a huge role in how connected we feel during this time. And I want to be clear and say it's not like I think that there's this right or wrong standard amount of stuff. Everyone is different. Everyone has their own preferences and desires, but the amount of stress we feel to get everything right before baby, the nursery, all the gear, make sure we have everything on somebody else's hospital bag list, it takes away from this very unique and special time in our lives where we literally open and expand and become this portal between worlds. I also, even though I don't think that there's a right or wrong amount of stuff, I do believe that when our focal point is on the stuff, is on all the gear and all the products and, making sure our nursery has everything it needs and looks great, we start equating that with if I have everything, with this idea that if I have everything in order, then I'll feel like I have it together. My postpartum period will be easy. And that's not true. It's just not true. And so when you have that mindset and then you hit postpartum and you're struggling, or something is challenging you, you're adapting to this new way of life, I think that really weighs on our mental conscience. It really gives us this emotional toll of, well, if I have everything, if I got everything right, if I have all the products, if I have all the gear, why am I still struggling? And I think that kind of perpetuates this comparison mom guilt, this idea that moms can be 2 weeks postpartum and have it all together and look perfect and have everything right. Their baby sleeps perfectly. They have energy. They have a community. And it's not to say that you can't have a restful delicious postpartum period. But I think sometimes we equate having all the right stuff with I'm going to be good, or having all the right stuff with I'll have a easy, successful postpartum period. And so when we don't, and that starts to get in our heads, I don't think it's very healthy. And of course, it's helpful to see what other people do, what other people's experiences are, what other people have, especially if this is your first baby, because we don't have a ton of community knowledge. We don't have a ton of ancestral knowledge built up unless you've done a lot of research or you've done the work to create it yourself in our culture. That's why I am going to show you my stuff. But know that if you're feeling stressed out, if you're overwhelmed, it's totally fine to take a step back and just reevaluate for your own self what you think is most important. And it's okay if your stuff and your preferences look like no one else's. Let me explain my experiences so you have a little background on my vibe, and then I'll get into everything I have for baby right now. My first baby, my son, he's 4. He was born in a hospital, vaginal birth. It was during COVID. Everything was like locked down like crazy. The hospital was crazy. My water broke and I did not go into labor in whatever the hospital amount of time is. I did not start having contractions. So it was basically an induction. I labored for 28 hours. On hour 20-ish, I got an epidural. From there, the nurse and the hospital's like on-call doula, I don't even know how that happened. They helped move me around to flip my baby, who was OP. He was like sunny side up, which is just not like the easiest position for a baby to come out. They were able to flip him so that he was nose down. And as soon as that happened, then labor progressed really fast and he came into this world. We did have to stay in the hospital for, I think, like 48 additional hours than standard, because the hospital's limit for labor is 24 hours. And if you go beyond that and don't receive antibiotics, they want to keep you for monitoring. So first baby born in the hospital, vaginal birth. I did have an epidural in that time period, and we spent a lot of time in the hospital. We were actually transitioning to living in a tiny home at this point in time, so we obviously didn't have a nursery. We had very few things to begin with, because that's just the nature of tiny home living. You don't have a ton of space. You don't have any room to put a ton of baby stuff. I do feel like, though, that because we didn't have a lot of stuff or a lot of space to put stuff, the stuff that we did get was really quality. And so almost everything that I have for my third baby is from my first baby. Before I got pregnant with our second baby, we had moved away from tiny home life. It wasn't necessarily the tiny home life exactly, but the fact that we were 7 hours away from family, we wanted to be closer, and we moved into like a real live house with all the rooms and all the space. But we still, for second baby, since we had already gone through our first baby with very little stuff, we didn't really accumulate a ton of extra stuff for her for the second baby, except for clothes. If you have a boy and a girl, you know that the girls just get a lot more clothes than the boys. We needed clothes for her because my son like ruined all of his clothes. So he didn't have a ton of hand-me-downs and clothes. But again, like a lot of the gear is the same stuff that we used for my first son, for my first baby, and then that we used for our second baby, our daughter. We also, even though we had the room, we didn't do a nursery for her because we co-sleep. That's kind of controversial. I'm not going to try to make a case for it or anything. There's safe co-sleeping guidelines out there. You can Google if that's something you're interested in. We did sleep train my son at around 7 months old, but he didn't sleep in his own room for too long, just because I kind of backtracked on the sleep training. It just wasn't something that felt right for our family. Our daughter, our second baby, was also born in the hospital. This time it was a much quicker, simpler birth. She was induced as well, only because my OB-GYN will only allow her patients to go to 41 weeks, and then she requests an induction. I know that there's like a lot that OB-GYNs in the medical system will pressure you to do, and people say you have to, but you could deny it, but at that point, when I was 41 weeks pregnant with my daughter, I was ready. She was probably coming soon anyway, so I went through with the induction. She was also born vaginally. This time, no pain medication or epidural or anything like that. Her labor was only 9 hours, so yeah, a lot easier, a lot more simple. We were only in the hospital for like a total of 24 hours, and we came home, and it was probably the best hospital experience that I could have asked for. With baby number 3, there's a big part of me that would love to birth in a birth center or a home birth, but I decided to go with a hospital birth again. It's with the same OB-GYN and at the same hospital as my daughter, so we are looking forward to a similar situation. Okay, so now that you have a little bit of background on me and my short birth stories and just a little bit of background on my philosophies, I feel like that's important just for you to get like a whole vibe. Now I'm going to show you the stuff. I'm going to show you what I have, like everything I have for baby number 3 and why I think it's important, or why I personally used it. Again, you can be totally different, but I feel like this is not your standard like baby stuff video, because I feel like it's probably a lot less than what other people might have. Okay, first, baby carriers. I had 2 under 2. So that second baby I had strapped to me at all times because I was running around chasing a 1.5-year-old with a newborn. All of these carriers though too, I got for my first baby. So they've made it 4 years. This is probably my favorite one for newborn period. It's like a wrap situation. It's a boba wrap. It's like super stretchy, not 100% cotton, which I would love, but it's, you know the thing. When you wrap it around, you got the baby all snug, nice and next to you. I do have a ring sling, which I use a lot less, but it's still kind of like nice. I have used it. Okay, and then Ergo Baby, the Ergo Baby carrier. This I don't really use in the newborn stage as much, but like, I don't know, a couple months old to 1, I'll use this all the time. Then I got this bathtub again for our first baby, and then I used it for our daughter as well. A lot of times I would take a shower and just fill this up and have her in the shower with me, so we bathed at the same time. I don't know, it made things easy. And a little towel, just one. I just need one baby towel. I don't need a bunch of baby laundry. I do have a good supply. I think I have a couple more of these organic muslin cotton swaddles. None of my babies have liked having their arms in being swaddled. They have to have their arms out. So I don't even know if it's like swaddling anymore, but we use these blankets obviously a lot. This is just like a little pad. I don't know, it's like kind of cushy. This is what I use just to put on the floor and put the baby on the floor. We've never had a changing table. I've never even thought about having a changing table. I just change the baby on the bed or on the floor or whatever's like most convenient. Sometimes on a blanket or sometimes on this. Again, this is a 4-year-old item. It's just like a little pad, especially for like messy diapers. It might be nice so that you can then just like wipe it off and clean it off. So just this little changing pad is like the most I would use, most equipment I would use for diapers and stuff like that. On the topic of diapers, I'm like a 50-50 disposable cloth diaper person. So we do use cloth diapers like at home. Here's some of these are like the newborn size cloth diapers. These are Grovia clothes. I don't want to be doing a ton of baby laundry, and my first baby, our son, was born in August in Texas, so he barely even wore clothes. He mostly just wore a diaper, and we had a blanket on him if he was cold. So that's probably what's gonna be going down with this baby too. This cute little onesie my sister got baby, like little, coming home from the hospital. I think all this is I got from like a resale, just little teeny things. 0 to 3 and newborn sizes, I think I have like 5 things. And I'm 5 to 7 things, and I'm like totally happy with that. super honest. Baby doesn't need a lot, you know? I also have had this. Both of my babies use this little sleep sack thing. Usually they'll sleep just with like a diaper. But if they need like a little extra something, then we sleep with this. And then, I love this. Again, this is from First Baby. A little Moses basket. The brand is Design Dua. You put the basket in here and it rocks and it's really nice. Okay, one thing we got for my son when he was like 2 or 3 months old was a bouncer, and we did use that a lot. And then we used that bouncer for my daughter, and then I sold the bouncer. I haven't gotten a new bouncer yet. I'm like still not sure if we're gonna use one or not. Just kind of depends on what I feel like. If I feel like I need to like sit him down in a bouncer, but I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet because I'm just not sure that we'll need it or I want it. I also was just looking for this. I need to get a new Frida Baby snot sucker, like the straw. Some specific things that I feel like mentioning that I don't have are a changing table, which I talked about that. A noise machine. Like I always see people saying that they need a noise machine in your hospital bag and all this stuff. And I just don't. Blackout curtains, noise machine, have the air at a right temperature. Baby sleep is so hyper fixated on, and I just don't think we need to hyper fixate it on that much. When we start like getting all this stuff to help baby sleep and then that doesn't help the baby sleep, I feel like it drives us crazy. Your baby's gonna sleep when they need to. Your baby doesn't have to be on a perfect schedule, in my opinion. It's gonna be okay. And any of those like fancy bassinets, like what are they called? There's like a snoo, I think is a thing, and anything like that. I've never had anything like that, and the babies have been fine. So this is it. This is my stuff. I'll show you my hospital bag and car seats already in the car, just in case, so we can go look at that. I had already put my hospital bag in the car, and I didn't want to take it out of the car because I don't want there to be any chance I forget to put it back in the car. While we're here, I'll just show you. This is the car seat we have for baby. It's like an infant car seat, like this, comes off the base. We drive a Ford Explorer. These seats back here pop up, like there's like a pop-up third row, and so that's probably where my older two are gonna come to the back, and then baby's gonna go in the middle row. So not a huge car, but we're gonna fit and it's gonna be great. This is my hospital bag, diaper bag, what I've used, same diaper bag for my 2 babies. I'll show you what I have in it. Literally what I have for the hospital is super cozy, soft pajamas, button down front, nursing bra. Actually got a new one this is from Old Navy. My own pair of like hospital-like socks where they have like the jelly things on the bottom, just because I have them. If I didn't have them randomly in my drawer, I wouldn't be bringing them. Baby mittens, just in case he comes out with super long, sharp nails like my first. And 2 potential outfits for baby boy, and that's it. We'll probably pack a charger. We just don't have an extra charger, so we'll bring a charger. My husband will get that. My husband will be in charge of snacks and his own bag, obviously. I don't need anything else. Like the hospital has everything. The hospital has diapers, the hospital has wipes, the hospital has the suction bulb, the hospital has, I don't know. There's just, like, I plan on making my intention is for our hospital stay to be so short. I don't even want to wear clothes really in the hospital, so I would just really keep it like super basic. It brings my stress level down. I don't need a sound machine. I don't need to shower. I don't want to shower in the hospital. I want to do that at home. I don't give baby a bath for like the first week. Yeah, super basic. Okay. I think my final purpose in this video, just the final point that I want to get across, is we've been having babies for a long time. There are certain things that make motherhood in the postpartum period easier, for sure. I just want to be a voice that says that you don't have to have everything on somebody else's list to enjoy your newborn, to enjoy this postpartum period. Of course, it's challenging and it's wild to adjust your life you know, this is a huge, it doesn't matter how many kids you have. If you add a whole human soul to your life, it's going to be big. It's going to be a big deal. And I just don't think we need the added stress and physical space being taken up of all the stuff. I hope you're feeling a little bit better if you're, you know, getting ready to have a baby as well. I hope that you know that you can choose the stuff that you want, and that there's nothing that says you have to have XYZ. There's nothing that says you have to have a perfect nursery. This is what you get. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or any products that you think like actually are like life-changing for the postpartum period, just drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about this stuff, and if I missed anything crazy. All right, thanks.